I looked at I searched the internet for the positions that the current Republican and Democratic candidates take on taxes in the state of New Jersey. And all I could find in regard to Governor Christie, the Republican candidate, is a short video in which he said that he had cut taxes and spending on a bipartisan basis. This is what he said he had done. I didn't hear him say anything about what he's going to do. As far as Barbara Buono is concerned, I looked at her website, looked her up, and there she had a list of positions on a whole series of issues, but tax policy was not one of them. She had you couldn't click on taxes and see, well, what's her position on taxes? It just wasn't there. Now, I might add that, once again, I can tell you that there is another possible choice. The Green Party, Steve Welzer.
Regarding that,
Yes.
property taxes, from what I understand, the reason that New Jersey has such high property taxes is that they do not get as much money back from the federal government as other states who have big military bases in the south and southwest. I guess maybe our representatives are not adequately prepared to argue that point, but it seems to me terribly discriminatory that New Jersey doesn't get back enough money from the government in order to lower property taxes.
Well, this has long been argued in regard to some states, such as New York, New Jersey,
Yeah.
Connecticut, the wealthier states, as it were, paying in more and getting back less than other states that are poorer. And one can argue that issue. But I would suggest something else, and that is that, you see, property taxes are the main source of revenue to support the public schools in New Jersey. And therefore, cutting of the property taxes means really you're also you would be cutting the support for the public schools, which of course has been done. Governor Christie did succeed in getting the support of the Democratic-controlled legislature to put a 2% cap on annual increases in property taxes. But what neither he or the Democrats do is deal with property in its fuller sense. They deal with property in a narrow sense. What do I mean by that? Real estate. But most of the property of the rich is not in real estate. Some of them may have most of their property in real estate. But most of their property is not in real, most of the rich is not in real estate. What is it? It's in stocks and bonds. That's not considered property under the property tax. Now, it doesn't have to be that way. Again, if I can refer to Professor Brownlee, he points out that going back even before the Civil War, that there were some states that extended their property tax to stocks and bonds and other financial investments, and collected a good deal of money that way. But this was, he says, dropped afterwards because his explanation is the states found it difficult to collect the information on the ownership of stocks and bonds and other financial investments. I would suggest there's another reason for it, and that is it's not just that it's difficult to collect the information, and today it's certainly not difficult to collect the information. I mean, the government is collecting information on every goddamn thing that they want. You can't hide anything. The problem is the rich don't want it. Why tax stocks and bonds? Well, again, and of course, again, I'm going to say this is not presented impartially, but the Green Party has taken the position that people's ownership of stocks and bonds over $1 million should be subjected to a statewide property tax, which could be used to provide large rebates to the owners and renters, not just owners and renters, not just owners, but also renters, because the homestead rebates applies to the renters, not just owners. A lot of people are not aware of the fact that the poorest people in the state are paying property tax. The only people who are not paying property tax in this state are the homeless or living out on the streets. If you rent an apartment, no matter how poor an apartment it is, you are paying property tax. Now, well, no, you're not. Yeah, the landlord is he's paying the property tax, and you think he's just paying it out of his pocket? He's collecting it from the renter. And that's why the state homestead rebate law provides for rebates to renters as well as homeowners. And so, as I say, Steve Welzer, as a Green Party candidate, is talking not only of restoring the millionaire's tax on high incomes, which Governor Christie refused to do, but also extending a statewide tax on stocks and bonds owned over $1 million, exempting pension funds.
Why are pensions exempted?
Well, because most workers could be affected if they're not. So the thing is that the idea of it is to tax the rich. That's the thing that the politicians of both the Republican and Democratic parties, they never want to talk in those terms. Tax the rich. No, that's wrong to talk that way. That's class warfare. That's socialism. That's communism. That's class warfare. It's not class warfare to tax the poor, to tax the workers. It's class warfare, though, if you're taxing the rich.
I have a suggestion to people here. Since it's pretty clear that Governor Christie is going to win, why don't we just vote our principles and vote for the Green Party, since, I think the things that you said, most people in this room would support. So based on your presentation today, I was thinking of voting for Buono. I am going to vote for the Green Party, and I hope everybody else does, because at least we'll be voting our principles.
I hate to hear you say that.
That can get elected when?
In this
Not
case,
1924. He won by plenty.
Well, look, I'm going to have to, it's already even after 2:30, and I have to go
By the Democratic Party and 100 who were